Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to our special event of Orange Talk 6 Challenges and Opportunities on Sustainable Wash Practice in Rural Area in the New Normal Era. First of all, I would like to introduce myself as your MC and moderator for today's event. My name is Muhammad Imam Mutakin, or simply goes by Imam, and I will say nice to meet you all. And a little bit background on this event, as we know that as the pandemic hit, many aspects of our life have changed, and we also forced to pay more attention to water, sanitation, and hygiene, or wash in short aspect, to maintain the healthy lifestyle. This is applied, of course, not only in urban area, but also to the rural area as well. There are some challenges concerning wash practices in the rural area, especially on the facility aspects, people awareness aspect, and etc. etc. In this event, we will share knowledge and thoughts from our keynote speaker and also panelists on the sustainable wash practice in the new normal area, and also identify the challenges and give interdisciplinary recommendation on the issue as well. I would like to say thank you to ROTASI Institute and Nuffic Neso, who have been organizing this event, and also our media partner from Dunia Akademisi, Mata Garuda, Bukadulu.com, Media Event, and Mahasiswa UM. Then I would like to say thank you to all of the speaker and panelists who have participated in this event, and also thanks to all of the participant or audience who are watching this event, attending this event. And I would like to say that I would like to remind that don't forget that there will be a door prize at the end of this event. And for those who ask a few best questions that will be picked by our committee, they will win the door prize. So please enjoy the event and prepare your best question, but not only solely for the prize, but also most importantly to share your thought on water, sanitation, and hygiene. I think I will begin the event by moving to the next agenda. I would like to invite Ms. Isnawati Hidayah, Director of ROTASI Institute, to give her opening speech. So, Isna, I will pass the torch to you.
Okay, thank you very much for the time, Pak Imam. So I would like to say welcome to everyone that joined this event today, and also thank you very much for the collaboration between Nuffic Neso Indonesia and Alumni Network, and then also the Embassy of Netherlands in Indonesia and ROTASI Institute to hold this event to discuss about the water and sanitation. We would like to also say thank you for all the media partners like Dunia Akademisi, Bukadulu.com, and Mata Garuda Media Event, and also Mahasiswa UM. And then I would like to sincerely say thank you very much to attend this event for all the keynote speakers and also panelists. We have I say thank you for Peter Vantal as the director of Nuffic Neso Indonesia, and then Professor Sri Irianti. We have also Pak Kun Brusma, and we have Pak Fani Wedahuditama, and Ibu Nuni Sintawardani, and the last but not least is Ibu Aisyah. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully this event that there are a lot of people who will come, and approximately 177 participants already registered in this event. Hopefully everything will be going well, and we can have fruitful discussion this time. Thank you very much for the time. I will give the place back to Pak Imam. Thank you very much. Enjoy the event.
Thank you, Ms. Isnawati Hidayah. Good morning there, because Ms. Isnawati is currently reside in the Netherlands and will continue soon to pursue her PhD degree in Italy in the development economic. Thank you again, Ms. Isnawati Hidayah. For the next agenda, I would like to invite Mr. Peter Vantal, the director of Nuffic Neso Indonesia, to give his opening speech on this event. So, time is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Peter Vantal. I'm the director of Nuffic Neso Indonesia, and I'm very happy to welcome you in this Orange Talk on water, sanitation, hygiene in Indonesia. Water, sanitation and hygiene, WASH, it sounds simple, but it is very important. One of the things that we have learned in the past 1.5 years is that the act of just washing our hands can be a lifesaver. So you're going to talk about important things during this seminar. Clean water is an essential element in everyday life, but it is not always available. And so it is important to think through what we can do to increase the availability of clean water and to use it efficiently. And that requires, on the one hand, big thinking. It requires the action of governments, maybe to build new infrastructure or to change the way water is produced, channeled, protected through our societies and through our physical environment. But it also requires a lot of action in a small scale. In our own house, what can we do to use water effectively, to use it efficiently? What can we do in our village, in our kampong? So these are important issues, and I'm happy to see our alumni networks be engaged in this issue. I want to thank the ROTASI Institute for the collaboration in organizing this event, and I hope that you will come to some interesting ideas that we can further implement. We are including these issues also in other activities, such as the work we do around sustainable tourism in the Lake Toba area in North Sumatra, where students will work on these problems. We are talking with the Indonesian Ministry for the Environment on contributing to the Kampung Iklim program, for example, which has a lot to do with the efficient use of clean water. So concrete opportunities for Netherlands alumni to be active, to keep Indonesia clean, and to work on climate change and climate adaptation. Thank you very much for joining the meeting this afternoon, and wishing you a productive and fruitful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Van Tau, for the opening speech. For the next agenda, I will invite our keynote speaker, Professor Sri Irianti, research professor in the field of environmental health from National Institute of Health Research and Development. She obtained her Bachelor of Science from Academy of the Health Controller in Jakarta and Bachelor of Public Health from University of Indonesia. And she also holds a Master in Philosophy and PhD in Environmental Engineering from Griffith University, Australia, through Australian Development Awards Scholarship and Australian Leadership Awards Scholarship, respectively. I would like to invite Professor Sri Irianti to deliver her keynote speech, and also to Dian Olua, please also prepare the share screen for the presentation. The time is yours, Professor Sri.
Thank you, Pak Imam. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and good morning for the Ibu Dian. Something I forgot. I'm honored to be invited to such a important webinar dealing with WASH and challenging and opportunities. As we know that, next please. We have an outline given by the committee, and then we are talking about WASH practices in Indonesia and impact of COVID-19 to WASH practices, government's action in the pandemic impact in relation to WASH, and government action to achieve SDG 6 target to achieve universal access to water and sanitation, and also talking about stakeholder involvement towards successful, sustainable WASH practice in the new era. nowadays we are facing challenging dealing with the pandemic. It's almost 2 years, and as we know that WAS is the prerequisite for our healthy life. Therefore, the pandemic also impact especially the use and also the demand of WAS, particularly water. And access to WAS is a human right as declared by United Nations in 2010. And intervention in WAS also cost effective as to reduce burden of diseases and improve quality of life. There are WAS system available, I mean tools and technology that can be implemented to achieve at the SDG 6. However, next please. We still confronted with the significant percentage of people without provision of adequate waste, and we can see globally that 74% already achieved the safely managed drinking water services. However, in Indonesia, the last year we did a survey with within Ministry of Health for the national estimate. The safely managed water supply is only almost 12%, and sadly in rural area it's only 8.3%. There was significant proportion of households also practicing open defecation, particularly in rural area. This is need to be done because we are the member of the G20. Compared to like Bangladesh, they are successfully reduce or eliminate the open defecation. And also the hand washing facilities and behavior also it's not as good as the proportion of water and sanitation. For the other two settings, as priority in the SDG 6, which are healthcare facilities and school, we also our study revealed that the healthcare facilities, especially for COVID-19 Referral Hospital, all elements of WAS were not met according to the core questions of GMP 2018. Next, please. This is we talking about there are many data available, and I retrieve from the WASH data from Joint Monitoring Program, WHO and UNICEF. Yes, please. Because time is only 15 minutes, I will only highlight the important data. This is not, I think it's not only related to climate change, because in 2010, we found that on almost 18% of household did not have a continuity of water service, so they suffer from water scarcity. And we can see here from the rural areas, the proportion is higher compared to the urban counterpart. Yes, please. Next. And I highlight the importance of WAS in contributing on stunting prevention and also handling, because we can see there are many data here about the contributor in every stage of age of the children under 5. Next, please. And then again, when we see the difference between rural and urban, this is the trend. This is the it's not the trend. So we compare 2000 and 2020. We can see a significant improvement within 10 years of development. However, disparities still occur between urban and rural, as well as social economic status. Yes, please. Next, please. Yes. This is also dealing with sanitation. This is a big problem, actually, because sanitation, inadequate sanitation also influence the quality of water, drinking water supply, especially from the self-supply side for the rural community. Please, next, please. Yeah. If we see the trend here, we can see a significant increase, especially for the basic services in rural area. However, there is still a gap to achieve universal access of water in rural area. Next, please. And we can see here also sanitation. That basic sanitation in rural area increased significantly, but the proportion of open defecation is still more than 11. And when we did an analysis and published about the decomposition approach, and we found that 48.78% disparities between rural and urban are attributable to spatial, demographic, housing, and socioeconomic factor. This is the evidence of inequalities still happen in our country. Next, please. And this is also quite old that we can see. I said before that disparities occur in urban as well, and in the quintiles of social economic status. Next, please. We are also happy if we look at that we are on track. So Bu Aisyah, this is a good news. Although we have to accelerate the achievement years by years because for the SDGs 2030 we have still many tasks to do, and also Indonesia already on track. Hopefully we can continue until 2030. Next, please. This is also dealing with sanitation. When we look at the last MDGs, we were off track because of sanitation coverage, and it's a good maybe because of the implementation of community total-led sanitation, or also economic increase, and also about also the behavior of some of the Indonesian people. Next, please. This is the data about the hygiene service level. We are set because no basic facilities available. So we still dealing with hygiene, like Pak Peter said that hand hygiene is the most important thing to prevent airborne diseases as well as waterborne diseases. Next, please. This is also the hygiene service level in rural and urban, because there is in the ladder we have a basic level, but we did not achieve that. Yes, next please. This is also for the from the Riskersdas 2018. We see that water use here, we can see that in rural area, for instance, that minimum water use is around this one is the important, because this is also minimum standard service according to Ministry of Public Works and Housing. But when we are dealing with disease outbreak or pandemic, we have to increase our minimum water requirement for combating the disease, preventing the disease. I think when if you look at the forward 2020, we can see that above 10 liter per capita per day is a good quantity, because low dealing with health concern, and then we have to achieve this. I think maybe we have to discuss later with the Bapenas regarding the minimum requirement, because we will be confronting other pandemics dealing with the water-related diseases. And when we can see that we analyze that the use of water more than 300 liter per capita per day, so we categorize as excessive uses. This is not dealing with the prevention of disease such as diarrhea. This is the important point in this regard. So we have to be efficiently to use water in household or other settings. Next, please. And also, we just also read the Suli Sutton for the new book about self-supply drinking water. And in Indonesia, we have a huge proportion of people with self-supply, because the government hasn't provided enough drinking water services. Then people, majority of Indonesian people have to provide themselves by certain type of water source. Next, please. We can see this.
Sorry, Bu.
Yes.
Bu Professor Si.
Yeah.
I just want to kindly reminder with
time.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes
yes.
again. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Pak. Yes. So this is the more important here in our data. And next, please. I already mentioned. Next, please. Yes, this is the result of research survey, online survey of post services in COVID-19 Referral Hospital. There were 150 6 referral hospital, and we found it's not good result actually, because especially a small hospital in outside Java Bali provinces that still no basic service, and also still sanitation, hygiene, and also medical waste management and environmental cleaning. Next. Next, please. This is for the school. We can see the data, still the proportion of water access, sanitation access, and also hygiene access, and especially for menstrual hygiene. Next, please. And you can see that I think the impact of pandemic, for the first thing, we can think that there is increasing water quantity use and demand in household as well as other settings. However, there were no study concerning the use of water regarding the pandemic situation. And when we look at the data from last year research, we can see that also some proportion of household dealing with water scarcity, and then also about hand washing behavior. Sayorini found that the respondent said, okay, we always wash our hand with running water and soap, but this is only because only online survey. Next, please. There are many action by stakeholder ministries in Indonesia. For instance, for the MOH has provided guidance to promote safe waste management in order to prevent people from COVID, including guidance on healthcare waste management, also stated in the Decree 7, number 7, 2018, and also we follow also WHO guidelines. And also we collaborating with we have been collaborating with WHO to build capacity on the implementation of WashFit training through virtual training of trainers. This is dealing the implementation on WASH in healthcare facilities to be resilient to climate change, and also dealing with the COVID-19 medical waste management. The Ministry of Environment and Forestry has provided discretion to utilize the available incinerators owned by hospital, and also we also provided technical guidance to reduce vaccine wastage rate across the 4 provinces, and also we haven't finished the survey and indicated that the rate of vaccine wastage were lower compared to the WHO. This is good news actually, because we can reduce the vaccine wastage rate about less than 5%. This is still interim result. Next, please. And also this is for the last my presentation, that we do have a WASH roadmap. Maybe Bu Aisha already prepared for the detail of the how to achieve SDG 6 by strengthening the existing and also collaboration with the potential stakeholder across the globe. And also we think we need the increasing WAS funding, considering the minimum requirement cost for adequate WAS establishment, especially for the healthcare facilities across the provinces, and also for the poor people, so we can implement the spirit of no one left behind. And also we propose to revisit the policy of community-led total sanitation, because this is only a tool for behavioral changes. The thing that we have to see the WAS, the three elements of WAS, we have to deal with this in an integration with health, and we do work with other sector that we need to hand in hand to achieve SDG 6 target, because especially for the implementation of water safety plan and sanitation safety plan, including active drinking water surveillance, of course, should be equipped with relevant policies and regulation. And also, when I see Bu Neni, I was thinking about the important appropriate technology for household as well as for other setting to provide safely water supply with certain technology appropriate that can be afforded by many people. Thank you for my presentation, for seeing my presentation. Pak
Thank you.
Imam.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor Sri Irianti, for providing us with the insightful speech and also insightful data to us. I just want to highlight that despite the various challenges that we face on development of WASH, we also actually still on track based on the data that provided by Professor Sri Irianti to achieve universal basic water service by 2030 in relation to SDG 6. It's a really insightful data, a lot of data, and we can learn a lot from the speech by Professor Sri Irianti. Thank you again. Next, we will move to next agenda, which is the video screening from ROTASI Institute and NL Alumni Network.
ROTASI Institute merupakan lembaga independen yang berkedudukan di Blitar dan dibentuk pada tahun 2020. Berdasarkan Keputusan Menteri Hukum dan HAM Republik Indonesia Nomor AHU 007080 AH 0107 Tahun 2020, ROTASI Institute telah terdaftar secara resmi dan legal sebagai Pusat Studi Pembangunan Desa dan Pemberdayaan Masyarakat Pinggiran. ROTASI Institute merupakan lembaga independen yang tidak terafiliasi dengan institusi pemerintah, partai atau golongan politik, dan kelompok agama tertentu. Bergerak di bidang studi pembangunan desa dan pengembangan masyarakat daerah pinggiran, ROTASI Institute hadir dengan membawa visi menjadi lembaga independen yang mendukung terlaksananya pembangunan inklusif dan berkelanjutan melalui penelitian, studi kebijakan, dan pemberdayaan untuk masyarakat marginal. Pusat Studi ROTASI Institute berfokus pada 5 bidang, yaitu ekonomi pembangunan, sistem pertanian berkelanjutan, lingkungan dan manajemen air, kajian politik dan pemberdayaan perempuan, dan studi kimia dan ilmu hayati. Semenjak terbentuk, ROTASI Institute telah mengadakan beberapa rangkaian kegiatan secara online melalui webinar, forum group discussion series, dan pelatihan yang dapat diikuti oleh berbagai kalangan, seperti akademisi, praktisi, pegawai pemerintah, hingga pegawai swasta. Selain kegiatan online, pemberdayaan masyarakat juga dilaksanakan secara offline di 2 wilayah yang berbeda, yaitu daerah Dau, Kabupaten Malang, dan daerah Munjungan, Kabupaten Trenggalek. ROTASI Institute turut aktif berkontribusi dalam pengembangan riset dengan mengikuti beberapa kompetisi ilmiah dan melakukan publikasi dalam jurnal yang telah terindeks oleh Scopus. Dalam mewujudkan visi yang telah ditetapkan, ROTASI Institute menjalin beberapa kerjasama dan kolaborasi dengan beberapa lembaga pendidikan dan juga lembaga lainnya di Indonesia.
Harapan saya, ROTASI bisa terus berkontribusi dalam penelitian dan pengabdian masyarakat di Indonesia di bidang rural development dan sustainability, dan juga bisa berkolaborasi dengan lembaga baik pemerintah, non-pemerintah, dalam negeri maupun secara internasional. Maju terus untuk ROTASI Institute.
Kita berharap ke depan ROTASI terus bisa berkontribusi dalam pembangunan masyarakat dalam beberapa bidang, utamanya di bidang ekonomi bangunan.
Okay. That's the video screening from ROTASI Institute and Alumni Network. For the next agenda, we will start the panel discussion. I would like to start to invite our panelists. The first one is Bu Neni Sintawardani. She has a massive experiences in water, wastewater, and sanitation research at Research Unit for Clean Technology at BRIN, former Indonesian Institute of Sciences. Bu Neni got her PhD at the University of Hohenheim, Stuttgart, Germany, and her expertise is within environmental process engineering. And I'm also glad that in the past I have been also involved in one of her projects on community biogas plant in Sumedang, Indonesia. And currently, the plant is still running by the village community there. Again, I welcome Bu Neni Sintawardani on board. Welcome, Bu Neni.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation and attend this very special meeting.
Thank you, Bu Neni. I will back to you later. I will move to our next panelist to introduce next panelist. Our next panelist is Koen Boersma, who has an extensive professional experience in the urban water management in numerous countries in a various role. He's now working as a senior technical consultant at Ramble and also member of the Netherlands Association for Water Management. Koen got his master's degree in civil engineering from Delft University of Technology, the Netherlands. And I welcome Koen to the discussion session. Nice to meet you, Koen. How are you? Good morning, then. Good morning in the Denmark, I think.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Koen. Glad to have you in this event. And moving out to next panelist, I will like to introduce Pak Fani. Pak Fani is Pak Fani Wedahuditama. Pak Fani has years of experiences within the water sanitation sector, including from NGO, government, in a numerous role as well. Currently, he is a director of Alliance for Water Stewardship in Indonesia. He got his Master of Arts degree from the Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, the Netherlands, and also has an MSc degree from Bandung Institute of Technology. When we welcome you to the board, Pak Fani. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, Pak Fani.
Thank you, Imam. Thank you, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
clearly, Pak Fani. Thank you for joining us. And our last panelist joining us now is Bu Aisyah Nasution from Bappenas. She's at the Water and Sanitation Planning staff from Ministry of National Development Planning. Thank you for joining us, Bu Aisyah Nasution.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and nice to meet you, all the speakers and all the participants.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Mas Fani.
I will start the panel discussion by having by reading the three key questions that we are will discuss. So the first is how are WASP practice related to climate change and crucial to support the SDG? And the second one, what are the main challenges of sustainable WASP practice in rural area, especially during COVID-19 pandemics? And the last is what are the recommendations and opportunities regarding the sustainable WASP practice to achieve SDG 6 as entering the new normal? I think I will start to ask the question to Bu Neni. Maybe I will specify the question by saying maybe at your institution at LPTB, BRIN, do WASP and climate change related topics become a research focus right now, or can you tell us about it? Oh, you still in mute, Bu Neni?
Okay. Yes. Of course. In our institute or in our LPTB that's belong to BRIN, that's an important research topic about WASH, and indirectly that's connected with the climate change, of course. But we have a different approach, maybe because we are several groups of researchers. So we're focusing from each interest to complement each other. So one example in our groups is we have a long-term collaboration with Japanese researchers in terms of sustainable sanitation. And now we are going to sustainable sanitation and value chain. This is very important topic. And our locus is more in the urban slum area. It's not in rural, but in urban slum area. It's more complicated aspect that we have to study and research in long term. So we know and we found several interesting result from that collaboration about sanitation, water, and stunting in this area. So I think I could tell you maybe later more, or when somebody have more interest, so we can have a collaboration too. So this is very interesting about urban area because it must be approached by multidisciplinary.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And also regarding this pandemic situation, do you find any challenges to run the program? I mean, maybe the program safe also because of the pandemic, or is there any challenges specific to the pandemic situation to run the WASP related program in your institution?
Yes. For this pandemic aspect, we have a special research, a very short research actually, to see and to observe and have a mapping about the condition of specified rivers in the Bandung city. So how it's the quality of the rivers fluctuated or something like that. And we have found interesting results for this short time. That's actually occurrence of two extreme things, yeah. With the need to stay at home or work from home, there has been a surge in water use accompanied by the use of soap and disinfectants more than before.
Yes.
Pandemic. However, if we observe the open water bodies or the rivers, there is a significant decrease in waste discharge due to the decline of or cessation of most industries. So the quality of the water a bit better than before the pandemic.
Okay.
So this is two interesting results.
Indeed.
So we have during the pandemic, I think we have to concentrate more about the domestic waste.
Okay.
That will be a problem. Yeah.
And also, you said before that the usage of the soap and all related products, it is increasing. And is it also has a negative impact to the, let's say,
of course, that
algae or something like that?
Yeah,
or anything?
that's why. So with the so much, I think sometimes it's this overuse of the sanitizers. It could be affected all the biota in the water system.
Yes.
So
okay.
that's why we have to treat it or pre-treat it, the water or the wastewater from our houses using a very simple, maybe appropriate technology. So the water from the household will not burden our surface water. So that is one important step that we should think together.
Okay, thank you. If any other panelists want to jump into discussion, I welcome you to also ask Buneni or ask each other. But maybe for now, I will move to Kun Rusma for the next for the question. It's a similar question. In your role, Mr. Kun, as a senior consultant in urban water management, maybe what kind of experience that you can share about the sustainable waste practice program? I also run through your CV. You have extensive experience not only in urban water management, but also some project related to rural area and community project. Maybe what you can share about the project itself and what can be learned in relation to the waste practices in those area.
Well, specifically wash practice, I think it's not just rural wash, but take a broader view. We saw a very a lot of data is collected on service levels and lack of access, but it's all very sort of academic. And what I see is on the ground, what's happening there. We have, especially in Indonesia, I've worked in the urban sanitation development program, which included also setting goals for rural areas. A lot of planning is done. Bappenas does a lot of planning and ambitious planning. 2030, we want to eradicate the open defecation. Everybody have basic access. But if you work back from your ambition to the situation now and what you have to do, you see that you have to deliver so many systems each day to reach that target. And what are you doing on the ground to actually implement those kinds of ambitions? And that's I see a disconnect between, on the one side, the academic and government thinking, planning, and what is actually happening. How can we connect those better? And as Ibu said in her speech, investments in WASH are always economically, if you, I think it's a World Bank figure, when you invest $1 in sanitation, you get a return of 7, 1 in 7. So it's always good to invest in that. So why is that not done? And that's what I want to know, the why behind. If you go deeper, why is that? Maybe because of lack of resources. Yeah. I don't think there's a lack of resources. there's money, but where are the people? There's a lot of people doing the planning, but where the people are doing the doing.
Maybe Bu Aisa can also joining the discussion about this to answer the Kun question.
Yeah, I think it's actually what's our struggle also, yeah, in Bappenas gitu ya. We set the plan, we set the target, we try to develop the program, but again, one thing that is missing, or maybe two things that really are missing, is first one, the political will, especially the high level political will. So this is one of the good point. I am attending this kind of event as a Bappenas representative. I think is that one, yeah, how we get the support, or how to make other stakeholders, not only the government or national government or the WASH stakeholders, but also how other stakeholders to aware about this issue. Especially this is pandemic, and we have been in this kind of situation 2 years. But maybe Pak Kun can give a more kind of like a fair insight, yeah, because you are not a player.
Well,
there is
yeah.
not so much to do, right? In this within 2 years, like this, I think is a very good entry for acceleration of WASH. But again, one of our issue is again to political, and the second thing is the awareness of public. I think many of Indonesian, because we live in a country that has many water resources, many things is available in Indonesia, ya Pak Kun. I mean, we are not yet developed countries. There's many things. Maybe people take it for granted, including for water. I think that's one of the big issue. Bu Irianti mentioned that we are on track to achieving basic water services, but actually, Pak Kun, we are always setting our target based on the aligning with also the global commitment. And now our target is for achieving SDGs, which SDGs targeted as safety. Bu Irianti already mentioned, for safety is actually our access only 11%, while the timeline for SDGs is only 2030, and we've been kind of like gain our independence is already 76 years, and based on our data is actually in the last 3 decades there is not so much improvement. You are right. Maybe if we want to achieve the target, we need kind of like a new system every day. Yep, Akon.
Yeah, exactly. And you have the lack of political will, but of course, political will is also driven by the public, what the public wants and needs. So you're right. The public needs to have a stronger demand for better services, both water supply, but also on the sanitation part. But I always say, never let a crisis go to waste. If you want real systemic change, you need a crisis. You see that well in my practice as well. That as a consultant, I can warn against all kinds of threats. But if it doesn't happen, there's no real will. And then once it happens, then suddenly there's a big political will. So how can we capitalize on the, it sounds a bit cynical, but how can we capitalize on the pandemic to make a bigger push?
Right, Pak Kun. I'm glad I am invited by Rotasi. We have Ibu Neni here, you and Pak Fani, and also Ibu Irianti. I think this is one of the message that we always deliver in our speech or presentation, that we need collaborative actions. You mentioned on the how to work together between academia, planner, and also the implementer. As one of example for the SDGs, we have the baseline with a research, with a national research. That's Ibu Irianti, director that lead the research. That's why we have those access 11%, our coverage. And then after we get the baseline, we plan to have a kind of like new program, not yet a lot, but because on introducing one program is also need a lot of effort. So I think we need many stakeholders, to go together, like you mentioned, need to capitalize this moment this should be a good site for WASH.
Okay,
this
sorry to
pandemic.
interrupt, Bu Aisyah. I see
Yeah.
noticed that Pak Fani raised hand. Pak Fani,
Yeah.
would you like to add points
Yeah, Pak
on this
Fani.
discussion?
Yes, thank
Pak
you.
Fani is also my colleague in Bappenas.
Yes,
Oh,
Bu
last year.
Aisyah
So,
is
hello,
my
Pak Fani.
senior.
No,
Hi, Bu Aisyah.
yeah, hello, Pak Fani. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you here, Bu Aisyah. And yeah, I have several points related to Pak Kun's also and Ibu Aisyah remarks. So I agree with Bu Aisyah that we have the commitment because of the pandemic, but before we have also the commitment, but maybe not as strong as that. But now with the pandemic, we have a stronger commitment. But Pak Kun's question is also try to bring us back to the ground that, okay, you have the commitment, but then what is it that we can do strategically, effectively, and everything? Yeah. Now, the one of the challenge, Pak Kun and everybody here, is knowing. It would be good if we know who doesn't have or who have access or who doesn't have access to safe water services and sanitation services. Now, the numbers that we see in many reports, this is the number based on the survey and this is based on sampling. Now, if we can know, for example, if in this city or in this, even in this village, who actually have safe access or not, because basically now everybody has access to water, but the question is whether this is safe or not, right? And I see in the presentation of Ibu Rianti, there is also self-service. Yeah, this is also a good approach. Yeah, by the government. But the first thing I think we need to really have, we really need to know who are those people, who are those households that do not have access to safe water. Now, actually, I want to bring the experience that we did quite some time ago with Bappenas. Bappenas did this e-survey, Bu Aisyah, maybe you remember, and this piloted in West Sumatra. And with this e-survey, because it is very cheap, and then it is very fast, so even the local government would like to pay it for themselves, and then they did their own survey, and several cities have already 100% survey. This is not sampling, this is census, where you know by name, by address, who have safe access and who doesn't have safe access. But it was a pilot, and the plan is also we would like to help government of Indonesia, Bappenas, to also do it as at the national scale. But if we have that information, Pak Kun, then the government and all the other stakeholders who have the same program can really target this household to have access, both in the urban and the rural area. So this is one. The second one is the awareness. You know, awareness precedes option, option precedes result. Now, the awareness right now is there, but not at the expected level. If you look at the many of the head of the city, the bupati, the wali kota, the mayor, yeah, there are some people, there are some head, the water leader here that still think that everybody at the end of the day will be served by PDAM, by the water network. Actually, it's not. Some will be provided, the service will be provided by the water utility. Some will be self-service. Some will be serviced by the community-based services. So this kind of understanding also have to be in the mindset of the decision makers. Now, if you look at your own city, that your water utility will not be able to provide for all, then you need to look again what kind of program that you need to have on the ground. And the government, national government, has already provided this huge effort on Pamsimas, Sanimas, and then STBM. This is a very, very good program and recognized by many internationally. Yeah. So, but still, the awareness has to be there. If we don't have the awareness, then it will be difficult, and especially if you are talking about rural.
And where does the awareness start?
Yeah, so the awareness start. Yeah, so we have to start at every level. So you have to look at every level. I think, no, at the household level, at the village level. How do you ensure this? How do you ensure this awareness?
Yeah, education at the youngest level.
Yes.
Related to this awareness, actually, I want to share something really interesting that is maybe also inspiring. This is, I think, I refer to the work done by Bu Neni at the Sumedang biogas community level. There we have a wastewater treatment facilities that is built to treat the wastewater that is coming from the in Sumedang. If we talk in Sumedang, there are a lot of what is that, small scale of a entrepreneur that is sell tofu in there. There the problem was the tofu wastewater was dumped to the river, and so created an environmental problems. And then LIPI at that time, along with several stakeholders, come to answer the problem by having a wastewater facility in there that is currently also run by them, and also the facility, because it's an anaerobic wastewater treatment plants, it can generate biogas and supply
But that is IPLT for fecal sludge, or
no, that is a
actual wastewater treatment plant.
Wastewater treatment from tofu factories.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I want to also ask Bu Neni how you can increase the awareness so that many village person can join the program. How you engage them so that they can aware that there is a environmental problem in there.
So I just heard and observed what you have discussed before. It seems that the approach is more governmental approach. So it rely all on the government, on the funding from the government and so on. That's as long as from our experience, it could not work well using that approach. I have some project from APBN for the biogas plant. This is only 1 year, and we have to report in 1 year everything and so on. It could not be like that. They don't work well. The locals, they accept, of course, all the technology. Oh, thank you. But when we are not there anymore, they will not use it, or just, okay, that's not our problem. That's your problem. This is your project. So that's our experience. That's why, so for the project in Sumedang, I have different approach. And okay, because I got funding from international, from outside, it's not APBN, is it easier? So what we have targeted, or what we have done, will be paid directly and so on. So we approach the community first, and the community, they are, maybe it's what you call it? So just terbiasa. What do you call it?
Get used.
Yeah, that's just always about the project, APBN project, about from the government. So they just thought that our project is the same. So they said, okay, just come in our village, and that's the problem. You can do it. And then they calculated, okay, this is for the land, you need to pay this, and this is for the whatever. And then I said, no, I just want to observe first. I have the idea from technology, and then I just explain them about the technology with using the very simple words and so on. This could be like this, but I need your cooperation because I need a land to build the plan. Oh, you can pay it for such million rupiah and so on. I said, no, I don't have a funding for buying a land. This is illegal, at least. And then they think further, and then I have to, about half years, so I have to talk and discuss with them every weeks and so on. And then at the end, they said, okay, we have contribute. So all the tofu makers contributing for buying a land for this. So that is the very important beginning for us, because, oh, this comes something that the sense of belonging coming from this buying the land. Okay, then they buy the land using their own money, and it means the land is belong to them. And I just bring the plan and build the plan there. So from that, from the beginning, the people, the community is already involved in this. From the very from the design, of course, because it's funding from outside, they want to have a very perfect safety level and so on. So I said, I just told you have to install this and this and this. So I said, this is a beta. So, but we have to use a Porsche motor. This is impossible actually, but okay, that's your money. So that's it. Now it's worked well already 3 years, operated by themselves, and they make all the system simpler than before. So, and now they can use the biogas for 24 hours for 88 households, and they have their own contribution and fees and so on to for the operation and maintenance. Even it's not enough, but it's worked until now. The most important that I saw now, it maybe needs your help, is the use of the treated water. This is very important because the treated water about 30 cubic meter per day. During the dry season, this is very needed by them to be recycled to the factories, or they can use it for watering the plant, the field. So it's worked well, I think, for the an implementation of technology. If the community, they have it's institutionalized in their life, so they could be maintain the sustainability of such technology or whatever management, or that's our experience. And I have now the experience in urban slum. This is different. This is more about sanitation, and the people in urban slum, this is high migrant people. They have so that is different approach. So I think I need the social engineer to support us.
These are great examples, but as you said, it takes a long time. Takes a long time.
Yes,
you take 2 years, and now we need 1,000 of these systems each day.
Yeah,
how?
But
yeah,
that's why. So
Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Yeah,
Budeni Pakun. Yeah, I think that's the importance of having a very high level political will, and also the high level commitment of each mayor and also governor and also all the district agencies. Yeah, because again, if we talk, Mas Fani refer to PAMSIMAS, it is one of I heard it is the biggest rural wash program in the entire world. Yeah, in Indonesia, it lasted from 2008 and up to now. It reaches now up to 32,000 villages compared to 80,000 villages in Indonesia. So it's almost 1/3 or maybe about half now is already being targeted by PAMSIMAS. But again, when Nini mentioned about community participation, it's actually one of the why PAMSIMAS is also considered a successful program, to trigger and to communicate and to kind of like make this wash is the problem of each people in Indonesia. It's take a long time. But again, as a government, we have limitations. We know based on our financing regulation, we cannot spend our money more than 1 year.
Yeah.
But sometimes community participation triggering, it can take maybe 3 years if we now touch in the very remote areas. That's also our problem. That I think that's why if it is the issue only being communicated by the WASH stakeholders, maybe it's not going very like touch the landscape issue, Pak Kun. Because again, and on the implementation is related to financing scheme by the government, it's related to the community participations and etc. So I do think that, again, I am happy to be here with you, Bapak Ibu, gitu ya, to communicate this issue because sometimes it seems like it's only our problem, all the WASH people problem. Bu Neni mentions about tofu wastewater. We haven't realize, many of us that doesn't realize that actually our gray water, maybe Pak Kun really knows about this wastewater coming from the toilet, from our kitchen sink, from gardening our garden, it just goes directly to our drainage in front of our house, while actually 70% of our households still rely on the groundwater and other what we call self-supply. Actually, in Indonesia, pipe water coverage only 20%. And most of the people, even though it seems that Bu Irianti mentioned we are on track, that's because of the household effort. It's not the government and other sector effort, because the community in Indonesia, most of us is rely on ourselves to provide the water services. That's why I think it's really, really important, like to make this a collaborative actions. We never realized that we now can already increase awareness on the fecal sludge management, but not yet on the gray water. So I think it's like you mentioned, Pak Kun, it's a really major landscape change. But still, the government needs to do it, step by step. Again, if it is community awareness is there and the political is there, I think it's going to really leverage the effort, Pak. And if I also mention Pak Fani, this is also actually the issue at the national level. Actually, we have DTKS, Pak Fani, Pak Imam, mungkin as a researchers really know what is DTKS, the integrated data for targeting the pure communities and also Ibu Neni. But we have the problem that the data cannot be accessed by public. Yesterday, we just heard that we can use the data also for the WASH programming. So I think if we are targeting the poor communities from every sectors, then this kind of issues in rural, in the pure communities is really like, it's going to be really easier to manage because we are targeting the same data set. Pak Fani mentioned about maybe we need to have a census, but again, Pak, if it only based on the perceptions of WASH sector, maybe it's not really going to solve. That's why we are happy. Yesterday, we heard that we can use the data DTKS. So I think we can use the data. It is a survey every year, so I think it's really updated. And then we can try to target our interventions based on this data. Maybe that's 2 things or 3 things that I want to add.
Interesting, Raisa.
But where are the community leader? Where's the Kepala Kampung, Imam, all those based in the community? Where are those people? Not only in WASH, but I see it in waste handling in general. In a kampung, people just dump it on the side of the river. But the Kepala Kampung can start a program for collecting it. Or the Imam can say what is the right behavior. So outside of the WASH community, do we have access to other community leaders that can propagate the message?
Yeah, many using the informal leaders. The people heard more about the informal leaders, and this is more effective than using the formal leaders. Because now Kepala Kampung is not really traditionally a high respected people. It's more.
But you have other high respected leaders, local, like the Imam. What can
do you
they
mean
do?
like the religious leaders, something
Yeah,
like that?
why not? Why not?
Okay,
Isn't
sorry,
that
I just reconnected.
Why not have them help propagate the message? Who do people listen to? Not the maybe not the political leaders, or they have distrust.
Maybe Bu Aisyah can also jump in, Bu Aisyah.
She's silent.
Oh yeah, still muted, Bu Aisyah. Is muted, or maybe Pak Fani.
Yeah,
oh yeah, Bu Aisyah,
because the host muted me, so I cannot unmute myself. So yeah, I think Pak Kun, one of our interventions is working with MUI. Maybe you are familiar with MUI, like the Association for the Islamic Leader here in Indonesia, and also with other Islamic organizations. We try first with Islamic organization because again majority is Islam, but we are planning to also work with other religion leaders. Pak. We know that for Islam people, for the Muslim, we have zakat, infak, sedekah, and now we are trying to kind of like move that funding also to be used for WASH. And of course, that kind of advocacy, that kind of the financing or the fund use need to be collaborated, need to be having a partnership with the MUI, with Basnas, with the Zakat agency. That's one of our new program, Pak, with them. So we also asked, like you mentioned, imam in mosque.
But is MOE a government institution or government funded? You also have NU, Muhammadiyah.
No, it's not. It's not government, ya Bu Neni.
But they're close to government.
They close to government
close,
because
yes.
because they are the I mean like the national association. So we try to move the community awareness also, not only by the government program, but also again working with other stakeholders, including like that the religious leaders.
Yeah, like NU and Muhammadiyah also.
Yeah,
There's also big.
They are under MUI, Pak. So we engage first with MUI.
Oh yeah, Pak Fani, will you like to add some point? And please, for host, I think Pak Fani cannot unmute. Okay, right now already unmute.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think what we are looking here is the champion. So a champion can be anybody, but you have to find champion at every level. So I just try to continue what I was trying to say also. So the champion is very crucial to raise the awareness, because they are the first person that their mindset is changed, and then they become the champion. Now, so the champion worked by passion, and when you work by passion, there is no money can pay that kind of effort, for you to put to move the people or the community. So what we are looking here is champion. The second, I think if we learn from what the government have done through the program like STBM, the community total sanitation, I think this is a very good way of triggering a program that can really change very fast the mindset and the behavior of a person, of a community. So I think before any program, the physical program comes in, we need to work first with the awareness. And the approach of the STBM program from the Ministry of Health, from the government of Indonesia, I think we can use this approach to increase the awareness. Because once the awareness is there, the mindset is there, the behavior change is there, then everything will accelerate very fast. STBM is different approach compared to the other sanitation program in the past. In the past, we provide the fund, we have to build the toilet and ask them to use. But then nobody use, even sometimes they lock the toilet because they are afraid if something is broken, who's going to be responsible. But the STBM, we approach the community, we explain to them based on the risk-based management approach. Yeah, you approach them and then show them that there are risks for this, and then their mindset change, and then they build their own toilet with their own money, with their own effort, and the toilet is there. The thing that the government then can provide them is information of option, technological option that they can use based on their ability to pay, to build the toilet and so on. But this kind of thing, we need to scale it up for the other WASH practices. Now, that also the same approach, we need to use it for the decision maker, for the parliament member, for example, for the mayor. But we need to use the same approach. Maybe this different triggering question, the triggering methodology, but it should be done since the beginning. Now it's not too late. With the pandemic, we have some ammunition also to try to do it again, and try to put some budget and some action on the ground, because now the awareness is at a different level. The awareness is ingrained to the bone, so they really understand. This is just what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
But my question is then, are you trying to build your own network in promoting these STBM? Because I think you need to access or mobilize existing network that can deliver this message, maybe even on a weekly basis, to get it through people's mind.
Please unmute, Pak Fani.
I cannot.
Okay, Pak Fani, it's ready.
Yeah, sorry, because the host is setting, I think it's not allowing the participant to unmute. But yes,
maybe,
of course.
Pak Fani can be co-host for committee. Yeah, sorry, Pak Fani.
Yeah, thank you. So I agree, Pak Kun. I think we need to have collaboration with everybody, with not only creating your own network, because everybody's doing something and everywhere. Now, because I have another hat with the Global Water Partnership at Southeast Asia, so we create this program called Water Security Open Program. The idea is that everybody can register their action. They can register their action, no matter how big or small their action is, and link their action with the certain indicators that leads to water security. So I think with the WASH, I think we can be the same, because we don't know who is actually doing this program on the ground. We don't have the data for that. Now, for example, I'm a small organization doing something for my community, creating like a small pond, and then use that small pond to provide the surface water, or maybe to doing the sanitation project. But then nobody knows. But if the government knows, then the government can say, okay, next time, can we align our effort? We will do this in that area, and you do that in that area. So we have bigger impact. So if we can have a WASH open program where everybody can register their action related to WASH, and then they can tag their action. I'm doing WASH, I'm contributing to WASH achievement universal access, but my action is actually linked to this indicator of WASH. And then at the end of the day, you have the whole map of Indonesia, who is doing what, where, and when, and you can also facilitate the learning exchange between them. This is a simple step.
And make it very easy for people to register their own thing on a map or something with a short description, and then you have an overview, and you can zoom in. There are several technical tools for that.
Yes. Actually, we have already developed this for water security, and it will only take like 3 to 5 minutes for an organization to register their action. It is very easy. At the end of the day, we also have the map, but this is still in development. But hopefully, we can also do the same approach for WASH. We can help, of course, through Alliance Water Stewardship and through Global Water Partnership, so we can put our effort together and move forward. And I hope Bu Aisyah from Bappenas can also give their approval also to move forward together.
I hope so.
Yeah, Pak Fani.
Idea from Pak Fani.
Oh yeah, there's an interesting point also.
Can I add, Pak Imam? So I think we can collaborate. So like 2 weeks ago, the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of education, if I'm not mistaken, we were launching the incubates. That's actually the same goal that Pak Fani just mentions, like people registers their innovations. And so we know like innovation can come everywhere again, because it should be everyone is doing something in everywhere. That's why we provide a platform so people can, you know, registers and say, I already make this, and then maybe like everyone also want to collaborate and use that. It could be like, you know, having a more uptakes. Yeah, maybe Bu Neni really knows about this research in Indonesia. It's not really having kind of like a big impact sometimes, because there's many issues, especially in uptakes of technologies. It's one of the things that we already try to intervene, how to nurturing this kind of innovations and technology uptakes by what kind Pak Fani said. Maybe Pak Fani can talk about with us later on in this.
Okay, there's also a point
be
from
glad.
Bu Irianti in the comment section, asking to Pak Fani. Bu Sri Irianti said, what about the poorest people when they aware of the importance of sanitation facility to separate their excreta to prevent excreta related disease, but they don't have money to build?
Yes. So thank you. Actually, I was trying also to inform Pak Imam about the question from Ibu Irianti. Yeah. Thank you, Ibu Irianti. I think this is a very good question also. But also just to inform that now actually there are a lot of funds. There are funds everywhere that ready to support. Now, if we can first, if we know where are these people who doesn't have any resources, then it would be great for us then using all the fund that is available to target them. Now, for these people who cannot afford to build their own toilet, for example, yeah. So we can also try to develop what we call a CSR pooling fund. This is I'm learning also from the East Java province government. They know that several cities have big industrial site, so they have a lot of CSR there, corporate social responsibility fund from the companies. But then there are other area who doesn't have industrial area and they don't have CSR fund basically. So what the government of East Java did was to create what they call a CSR pooling fund, where all the CSR fund comes into that trust one packet, and then they can use it for any areas that really needs the support. So we can also have this WASH, for example, WASH pooling fund, and then whoever needs it, then we can help them to do this. But for the sanitation approach, I think we need also to learn from the sanitation approach. What I learned from SDBM, the CLTS approach, is that even the people, they don't have fund, they don't have money to build their own toilet, but the community then supports them. They have this what they call arisan. So to help this household to build their toilet, because the household do not have any fund, the other collect money and then support. And then once there is the time to build the other household toilet, the same situation applies. They collect money and then they support. So this kind of community mechanism, social capital mechanism also happening on the ground. So we can also try to support them also, of course, providing some initial capital so they can roll it from household to household. Just an example. Yes.
How to, that is a good example, but how to trigger or how to find that committee or the people who have a high support motivation, how to find it faster in the community.
Yeah, but Bu Aisyah maybe can explain first. Yeah.
Yeah, Bu Neni, Pak Fani, I think what Pak Fani mentioned is right. Yeah, now we also having a big issue where the program is overlapping and the poor communities already triggered. They still cannot move to having at least a basic access because there is no resources. That's why one of the steps, again, first using the integrated data that is always updated. We hope we can use DTKS. And then the second one, I think, is need to be verified by the local government. Again, local government that really knows about their communities, about their areas. And the third one, we now create what we call segmentation tools. We try to ensure that the poorest one get the subsidy, the full subsidy from the government. This is not yet happening. Bu Irianti, yes, already said, yeah, based on the STBM implementations, communities usually already triggered, but then they are clueless because again, they do not know where to find the resources. They do not have money. They don't know how to kind of like access or maybe borrow something. That's how we develop microcredits right now. Microcredit, we work with the Ministry of Finance, we work with the Ministry of Corporations. We try to build the micro and small enterprise to kind of supply the sanitations material and constructions. And then again, for the government intervention, we tried what we call it segmentation tool, because now we already have this kind of program, Mas Fani say, Pamsimas, Sanimas, Hibah, the AKA, or a special allocation fund and other national budget. But sometimes the money is actually free. Yeah, if it is funded by government, it's actually free. The one that already received it is actually the middle one, or maybe the upper income one. That's why you already knows that issue. And then, but again, for the what Pak Fani mentioned, the one that really can have zoom in on who's need to be prioritized. Prioritas first is the local government, because on the national government we cannot do that. So Indonesia is really a huge country, so we just provide the tools so the local government knows to prioritize. Now we are building that for the, we call it segmentation tool, because again, we know have microcredit, we have zakat, we have another budget. It seems not fair if the poor one need to access the credit loan while the richer one receive the free subsidy from the government. So but again, it's not going to be have a really wide success if everyone take their role. So I think sorry again for jump in.
It was good, Bu Aisha, you mentioned that. And also I just want to add to Bu Aisha, just to echo what Bu Aisha just mentioned. Actually, we have also, everybody heard about the solid waste bank program. So people collect waste, they turn it into money. Yeah. Now, last time I also proposed maybe try to different approach. It's called solid waste credit, where you get the money up front, and then you pay this small loan, by paying through installment, but in form of trash, solid waste. So this way, people especially at the poorest quintile, they can also contribute by collecting the solid waste and then turn it into fund for themselves. So if we are talking about resources, actually, as I said before, funding is everywhere. It's just a matter of how we can introduce this kind of mechanism to the stakeholders, to the people. And also, I think the approach from the solid waste bank, the solid waste credit, the PAMSIMAS, SANIMAS, and STBM, if we can try to look it together and then try to maybe revisit the design and then try to learn from each other program, then we can have a new program that is complete in terms of the approach, So I think it would be good. So Bu Aisha, maybe if there is an opportunity for us to discuss how we can revisit again the design and then try to come up with a new one where we learn from all the other programs. And then we can have a, WASH program 2.0 or something. But I think
but don't let perfect stand in the way of good enough.
Yes, of course. Okay,
and,
yeah,
and,
I
and
agree.
some programs may be targeted at not the exact right group, but that prevents the whole program, and then nobody gets their facilities.
Yeah. At least provide the local government with the tools so they know which direction they have to go.
Yeah.
But
and money is not always the issue, as Pafani said.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have come to the time to Q&A session, and there is already some question in the chat box. One of the question that we pick is that this one is, I think, need a technical approach and also non-technical approach maybe. So the question is how to improve the wash access for people in rural area or village such as a mountainous area which has insufficient infrastructure and hard to reach out. In fact, Indonesia has more than 70,000 villages, and it can be huge homework for all of us. So maybe from the, I don't know, technical approach and also socio-engineering approach, maybe Pak Kun want to answer this?
Well, that's not entirely well. I because I focus mainly on urban areas. So these, you should provide them the tools to be more self-sufficient, I think, and not have them rely on government, because government is too far away. But make them value this for themselves, to realize that this is important also for themselves. As far as technical, keep it simple. And is it really a big problem? Because if you have a very distributed population, you say access is low, but behind those figures are the problems of health problems, stunted growth, disease. How prevalent is that in those very low density rural mountainous areas? So I always ask, what problem are we solving here?
Maybe I will go back to the who asked this question. The committee, Budian. Can we connect to the participant who asked this? Hello, Budian. Or maybe I will.
Yes.
I will ask.
I think the question was from Ida.
Sorry.
The question was from Ida from ROTASI Institute, actually. So.
Okay.
If the the person want to ask the question directly or want to kind of like clarify what the question was.
Yes, I think
indeed.
the answer is quite clear for me, and it's really a nice discussion between all the panelists. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then I think we also close to time limit of the Q&A and also the talk discussion. So I think I will ask you each of the panelists to give your maybe closing statement or recommendation. As we discussed before, that the collaborative action is needed between stakeholders, internal government as well, and also to create a sense of belonging from the society. From your side, maybe what kind of highlights do you want to recommend to able to have a sustainable wash practice in Indonesia, for example, especially? Maybe we can start from Bu Neni.
What about this?
The recommendation and also the maybe closing statement.
So yeah, for me it's again. So I just stressing it in the how important the community. This should not be as our objectives, must be subjective. So the readiness of the community to accept a program or technology and institutionalize it in their own management is very important to ensure the sustainability of this program or the technology. So that is for the work and aspect to Pak Fani already to find those actors is we have to, yeah, it must be a method, standard method that we can use it to for every locus, for example, a minimal standard that we have to find it. I think that's my my opinion and my close remarks. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And next, maybe from Pak Fani, maybe you want to also give your closing statement and a recommendation to achieve sustainable wash practice in Indonesia based on our discussion.
Yes, I will be brief. There are several points. I think first is to get the data right, and we have the application. Learning from the pilot from Bappenas in West Sumatra. I think we will be willing to help Ibu Aisyah if this is something that we can do together, of course, with the other stakeholder, and then get the rule of the game right. I mean, we have a lot of regulation, but again, Bu Aisyah also mentioned about that at the end of the day, also the local government is also responsible for this. So the national level, we have the rule of the game set, but at the local level, we need also to have a more detailed rule of the game to be set properly, and then get the institutional setting right. At the village level, at the city level, who is responsible with what kind of authority, this is must be clear. And then get the financial support also right. We have a lot of funding available, so we need to tap on that. And then, of course, if possible, I propose that in the future we can have this what we call water stewardship or wash support facility that can help any local government if they want to increase their capacity to be able to achieve this universal access in their area. So that would be my recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fani. And maybe next, Pak Kun, you want to give your recommendation also based on our discussion. I noticed that you quite interest in wash topics in Indonesia. Maybe you can also give recommendation based on our discussion.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, one thing is I always want to look, well, you have the data, but go one step deeper and look at what is behind that data. So that's maybe for the researchers a recommendation. But in the planning, yeah, there's always very high ambition levels. 2030, we want to reach this, but then also do some backcast. You cast forward, you do a forecast, we want to reach this, but then do some backcasting. Okay, we want to reach this. What does that mean? Go back, and then what do we need in smaller steps to happen? And then you realize, yeah, but how are we going to do this? It's a nice target, but yeah, I've seen that a lot. Unfortunately, in Indonesia, you have a high target up there, and then we go up at business as usual when we reach the year, and we didn't reach it. Okay, we set a new target for another 10 years. So a bit more realistic planning and implementation. And I saw one of the comments also in the chat that where who's the implementing agency from government is PU, for instance. Yeah, where are they?
Yeah.
We have Bappenas is doing a lot of planning, but then they hand over to PU and they have to actually realize it. Yeah, and there's sometimes a disconnect there.
I see. Okay, so it's more into the internal collaboration, strengthening the vision, where we want to go and how to get there.
Yeah,
in a really simple way.
Yeah, and different sectors need to have a working knowledge of the other person's problem or the other sector's problem. So how can one sector can contribute to solving a problem in another sector and not work against them.
Noted, Pakun. Thank you for your recommendation. And maybe last to Bu Aisa, do you want to give also any closing statement and also your recommendation based on our discussion today?
Yeah, make sure you participate in the development. That's one of the main point, I think, recommendation from me. Maybe after this Zoom, one of the things that you can directly do is check your water supply. Is it coming from pipe water provider or still rely on the self-supply system? Go check to your local government, to the local provider. If you live in the pipe water area or PDAM area, then talk to them that you want to connect. It is one of to help the government to having a sustainable services. Sanitation is also the same. Ensure, even though you live in rural or in urban, be sure that you have a proper toilet and have a proper septic tank. Ensure that your septic tank is regularly dislodging, at least minimal once in every 3 years. Again, target is a target. If there is no one want to do or put their effort, then it's again only become a target. So I think that's one of the way that we can having a sustainable sanitation and water services. And the second one, of course, voice your demand. Again, this issue not should be heard and also should be addressed not only by us, by the middle level manager, by the grassroots level. It should be speak by all of the people, including our high level decision makers. Again, we know stunting is really well-known issue. Germas, let's say, is one of big issue, COVID, but if you break down all those major issues, you know that wash is the big component of it. So why wash is never mentioned as big as any other issue? So I think it is also our part to speak that issue, to ensure wash is also raised and become everybody problems and solutions. I think that's for me, Pak Imam.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the panelists. Thank you for also our keynote speaker, Professor Sri Irianti, who has already give us a fruitful data in the beginning. And I just want to wrap up some of our discussion and also a recommendation from our panelists. The first is that make sure that the community involvement is highlighted, and also it is important to raise the sense of belonging of the villager, of the society there, and also as Pak Pani said, get the data right, and also from Pak Kun, you should have a realistic target, and also should have a like a simple way and also internal collaboration to reach the target with a realistic target. And also for from Bu Aisa, make sure we participate in the WASH program and voice our demand on the WASH program. And again, I would like to say thank you on behalf of the committee to all of the panelists. Thank you so much for your participation, and also thank you, Professor Irianti, for your participation as well. And I would like to announce to participants to fill out the survey. And again, I will thank you your participation to attend this event. We really appreciate your participation in this event. And the survey is it already in the text box? Survey?
Yes.
Okay, the survey is already in the text box, and in order to get the e-certificate, you have to fill the form that is on the chat box. There is a link on the chat box. You can access it, and you can fill a short form in there in order to get the e-certificate. And also for the door prize, we'll contact the person who bring the most interesting question. And I think that is for all from me. I on behalf of the committee again would like to say thank you, and see you on the next event of the Orange Technology. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Terima kasih Mbak Aisyah. Bisa
Makasih
ketemu
Mas
lagi, seneng.
Fani. Iya.
Makasih Pak Imam.
Sampai ketemu lagi
Makasih,
Bu
Pak.
Wirianti, Bu
Iya.
Neni. Makasih.
Terima kasih.